This is Numbers Man on the 7th of June 2015. We'll start this off with Greece and then we'll get to the latest job numbers in the U.S. and give analysis there, real-time analysis. But first we'll go to Greece and the summit that is opening there in Germany. This is Diese Woche, the German newspaper I'm reading from here. The headline is G7 and Greece corrupts the summit Merkel agenda. And this is the translation, so we're translating from the German here. And an important center of power in Europe actually looks different, not so shabby as the building in which the Syriza party has its headquarters in Athens on Ifritra Square. The reception desk at the entrance is scuffed. I'm not sure why. Behind three men, the request for talk with party members is checkered, tired. Sign 4 weeks in advance questions there. Syriza, the left-wing government party, is the great unknown in the debt dispute. At the same time, the party is well within its worn headquarters for the linchpin in the struggle for furtherance of the euro. To the annoyance of the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, will also discuss that the G7 dominates the show's summit in the Bavarian mountain scenery. A Syriza shatter has settled. One thing still does not know the German Chancellor, after a hectic crisis diplomacy this week, is Greece's Prime Minister Alex willingness to bring a deal in with the European through his unruly party, and would Syriza follow him? This will depend on Merkel. The Chancellor has flown to depart to Ecnomics for the rescue of Greece, much political capital in the balance. A nightmare it would be for then if Germany were held up for burst, maybe even for a Euro exit of Greece as the Metacopa. According to the motto of all Germany, the nation that triggered 2 world wars in the 20th century, which stands for terrible crimes in Greece, is now pushing the country out of the core community of the EU. The currency union, Merkel's horror. For months the Chancellor negotiated, therefore patient with Metropolis, on the disbursement of aid, billions from a second bailout in late June expiring. At least the G7 summit, the Chancellor wants to talk about other issues in many fields they want to achieve, small but fine programs. The plan was that the Merkelian world, however, after the dramatic week on the Merkel because of the Greek question, suddenly in distress, the American President Barack Obama, the International Monetary Fund, even her party and her finance minister make strong pressure, however, in different directions. The Chancellor has until recently done everything that to make an agreement with Greece before the G7 round. On Monday, she conferred with the French President Francois Hollande and the head of the institutions on the crisis summit in Berlin on the outlines of the conference the compromise paper for Greek reform program. Merkel asked the European Commission, Jean-Paul Jacques, invited Tropoulos on Wednesday to Brussels. Free Jacques presented the Greek government a 5-page paper and made persuasion. He should have contacted Tropoulos to his computer. Now, this is a translation, so it sounds a little strange. You study the figures, Joko told Tropoulos. Greece is at the very beginning of the agenda. The Brussels night could bring breakthrough, as they say in negotiation circles. The chief of the IMF, that's Christine Lagarde, and the central bank president Mario Draghi will be meeting. So this is from their paper here. The president of the European Union, Martin Schwarz, urged the Greek in a newspaper interview, and this is where we were just reading from Vesaiton in the interview on Sunday. We were just reading from that paper. I can only warn the Greek government against turning down the hand held out to them. Schwarz, who has been supportive of the Greek cause, time is running out. So that is the warning from the European Union. Where they are going with this, not apparent. Evidently, Greece, in their special interests, have decided where they will go, and they have turned down the agreement offered by the EU there. So this summit will be held, and at the same time protests. We'll have more on the Bostonred program on Monday morning on the political aspects of this particular situation, but Greece in itself is center, no doubt, because of its importance to the EU. Let's go very quickly to the BBC and their coverage of this crisis. A little bit different. We're sort of moving around here, so bear with us. As to where this will be going, and then we'll go to the American situation and the 280,000 jobs that were added there. But Greece is out there, and it is a situation that is unfolding, no doubt about that. And from the BBC, this is on the 5th, the Greek Prime Minister has warned international creditors not to humiliate Greece over the debt. This is Alex Tropoulos here, said negotiations were at a critical stage, but that the lenders' proposals were not realistic. Greece delayed their 300 million, that is 216 million pounds, and 300 million euros debt repayment to the IMF, declared that the EU IMF lenders' plan is a bad moment for Europe and a bad negotiation tactic. He accused Greek lenders of massive backtracking on measures agreed in recent months. Now, this is some of what is going on here with the Greek debt at 320 billion euros, and it is mounting there. Greece owes Germany $56 billion, and that's 177% of the current country's debt to GDP ratio. 25% falls in GDP since, this is Greece, since 2010. The unemployment rate in Greece is at 26%. That is the official, but it is much worse than that. Greece is in a depression. Make no qualm about that. Now here's the schedule. Greece owes 6.74 billion, 1.5 to the IMF. That's in June. This is the repayment, and 5.2 billion in short-term bills. In July, Greece will owe 6.25 billion and 451 million to the IMF, and 3 billion in short-term there, and to the European Central Bank, 3.5 billion. So there's a lot of money involved here. On Thursday, Mr. Trapalis said that there's was in sight an agreement, but the agreement broke down there, and so this will continue to be a crisis. The problem in Greece is that the proposals are not acceptable to the Syria's party, nor are they to the Greek people. So thus you have a standstill there. Greece has no alternative than to not make the payments. Now, Trapalis ruled out increasing the VAT tax on energy and reduced supplementary payments for poor pensioners. Athens want, this is some of the things that are sticking points, primary budget surplus targets, but both sides appear close to agreement. According to the report, creditors want a budget surplus of 1% of GNP this year, 2% next year, while Greece has proposed 0.8% for 2015 and 1.5% for 2016. That's really quibbling over small numbers. But at the same time, this situation is, as in the German newspaper, forcing Greece out of the euro, and that's what the I have to get that name there. That inside newspaper said there, and I did have that down, but unfortunately, I have to look at it. We don't really need to look on that. Let's go to the U.S. now. Something pronounceable here. These are right inside, and get it right in a minute. Anyway, to the latest unemployment numbers here. This was released on Friday, and the total non-farm payroll increased to 280,000. Yes, in May, and the unemployment rate was essentially unchanged, 5.5%. That's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Job gains occurred in professional, business services, leisure, hospitality, health, etc. This is the household survey here in May. Both the unemployment rate of 5.5% and the number of persons at 8.7 million was essentially unchanged. Both measures have shown little movement since February. Among the major work groups, the unemployment rate for adult men at 5%, adult women at 5%, teenage 17.9% there. For whites, 4.7%, African Americans 10.2%, Asians 4.1%, Latinos 6.7%, showed little or no change in May. The number of unemployed new entrants edged up by 103,000 in May, but it's about unchanged over the year. Unemployment new entrants are those who never previously worked. The number of persons unemployed for less than 5 weeks decreased by 311,000 to 2.4 in May, following an increase in April. The number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, held at 2.5 million in May, accounting for 28.6% of the unemployed. Now, that's almost 30% are in the category of long-term unemployed types.